Change your mind, change your world. You're changing your thinking. What are you thinking about? Because that's what you're going to be experiencing. You know, all this ceremonies and doctrines and creeds and all of that means nothing unless you, first person, present tense experiencing, feel after it for yourself, and you'll find it. It doesn't say try. It says do a thing. That's it. You know, it tells you they themselves are makers of themselves. So you're making yourself by your own conversations with yourself. Not what you're speaking out loud. That could just be funny, but not productive. But what you're saying to yourself is productive, because you see, the thing of it is that because it's you talking to you, you're not going to deny it. Even if you don't believe it, you're still not going to deny it. You're still going to feel after what you're made to feel after by your own mindset. So it's you changing your thinking that changes your world, not anything going on the outside. Even this virus everybody's having a problem with. All of these things are made up out of the mind of man, not God. God did not give man the spirit of sickness. He did not give man the spirit of fear. We learn these. That's the whole problem, is you learn these things, and they're mindsets, and you act according to what you hear as hearsay, rather than as to what you're thinking for yourself. It's always up to you, as I said. Do it or don't do it. That's where you always have to leave it. Because it can't do it for you. I'd love to just walk down the aisle and tap you on the shoulder and say, that's it. It doesn't work that way.
Let me add something about the walking down the aisle and tapping you on the shoulder. Even if you were healed for that moment, you would walk out of that door, you would go back into your old mindset, and the healing that you had for that moment, you would say, see, I told you that didn't work. And so you would undo everything that was done in the moment of the healing. And that's why Jesus often said, tell no man, because he knew that if the person told someone else, they would be discouraged and they would revert back. He wanted the healing to take place. So he said, first go show the priest, because, see, the priest would have affirmed the healing. You need somebody that's going to affirm the things that you want to manifest in your life. Don't get naysayers, because what they're going to do is discourage you, and you're going to find yourself back into that old routine, that old rut.
By the fact that they're close to you, they'll be the greatest denier of what you're saying, because they have to be. Otherwise, if you're right, they're wrong. They don't want to be wrong. Everybody will defend themselves. People sit there in front of me, and they talk for 10 minutes if you let them, and they'll just be bad-mouthing themselves, and I'm going, you're not even on your own side. I recognize that right away.
Years ago, I was having a conversation with a friend that I work with, and we were talking about something pertaining to what we were doing at work, and he made a slight mistake, and he started bashing himself. He said, I'm so stupid, blah, 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 and I stopped him. And I said, listen, you can't talk to my friend like that, because he was unaware. And we are all often unaware of our self-talk. And he had to laugh at me saying that, but he got the point, So, yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, that's it. We don't hear probably even a third of what we talk to ourselves about. It just goes through so quick. And even when you have those aha moments, still, you see, they don't do that opening and quickening it. So they miss it. Even though they had it, they missed it for a moment. Even the healing, for a moment. But then they go right back to thinking the other way, and it switches over again. You're in control. You have dominion. And if you're not paying attention, you can destroy yourself very easily. Sure, that's how most people go. They destroy themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's inevitable. If you're not thinking right, then you're thinking wrong. There's no in between, really.
None. And Scripture calls right thinking righteous thinking, but let's not make it religious. I just want you. So when you hear Scripture says he thought righteously, what he's saying is that he or she thought right. And so what we're trying to do is, what is it that you want to manifest? Whatever's in line with that, we'll call that your salvation, as we said a few weeks ago. You focus on the thing that you want to manifest being your salvation. And as Lindell stated earlier, with feelings, it's not enough to just think a thing. You have to own that thing, so you have to think from, with feelings, knowing that that thing is already your reality.
That's it. You have to feel it. Feeling is the secret. But Neville wrote a whole book on feeling is the secret. I know you have it.
Absolutely.
And right there, it tells you feeling is the secret. Well, how do you feel? You ask people, you're always sorry when you ask people that, how do you feel? You know, but the thing of it is that your feeling nature, that's your whole world. And really, think about it. As you think you are. I mean, it's a self in self and risen drama. So if you're not lifting yourself up, you can hear the message, and it can lift you up momentarily, but you have to open it and quicken it to keep lifting up, because there's always more, and more. As long as you're in it, thinking from it, you'll be receiving. Well, it's like Dr. Murphy said, if you're hungry, a sandwich is your salvation. So therefore, that's what you think upon. What you think upon grows, right?
Absolutely.
Well, then you better be thinking on what you want to grow up with. Or grow old with, one or the other. But you're always thinking ahead of your evidence. Why not think of it as lovely and of good report? Because if it's not, you're thinking ahead of your evidence, so you have an opportunity to change it. Change your mind, change your world. That's just a point that I like to bring up every night, every day, that thinking makes it so. What are you thinking about? Simple as that. But you got to keep it simple to keep it simple. I know you got that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, for those who are truly practicing this, because I don't want to give the impression that some of you are not practicing this. Some of you are doing outstanding with this. What you can do, we have the Facebook group, we have the YouTube page that you can go to. Tell how this stuff has been working for you. Because, see, sometimes people need to hear other stories. As Lindell had stated earlier, and it's true, our family members think we're crazy. People that look from the outside, when we begin telling these truths, and all of you know exactly what I'm talking about. To the world outside, we're a peculiar people. We're a strange people. And some would even say insane, that this stuff just doesn't work. So you're frustrated because you're trying to get family members and loved ones to understand how this stuff works. And they're seeing it manifested in your life, but they're writing it off as, luck or whatever, happenstance, whatever.
Yeah, that's me, man, the luckiest man in the world.
Hey, which is a great title to have, but we sometimes need like-minded people to bounce off what it is that we're experiencing. And that's why we created the Facebook group. That's why we put the videos out there, so that you can know that you're not by yourself. And so, listen, become a part, and share your story so that other people will know that they're not crazy also. Do you have anything to add to that as we're winding down?
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, thou art with me. He's telling you, I'm with you. What? Fear not. I'm with you. I'm with you always. I will never leave you. Omnipresent. If you can't recognize him after all of that, well, then you're not paying me attention.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. He's with you. Most people don't want to know that God's with them because the woman said, "My God, I can't believe what you just said." that God is actually in me. He knows everything I'm doing. I go, well, no, actually, he doesn't know everything you're doing, but he's doing it with you because he gave you choose this day. And he says, I suffer with you, but you behold me not. So he's really telling you that he's suffering this because he let you choose it. Choose wisely.
Absolutely.
All of it is hearsay. It's all hearsay. Even what we're saying to them, it's all hearsay. Until they move in and think from, and then they'll realize it's their story. It's all their story. It's your story 100%. Good or bad. And you're forgiven because you didn't know. Because if you knew, you wouldn't do half the things you do. So that's it. That's all I have to say about it. It's yourself pushed out, and if you want to push out the good part, push out the good part. You want to push out the nonsense, push that out too. You get to experience it all. All of it is just an experience, and it all goes away. Everything you can see with your eyes on this planet will go away eventually. So that's not what really matters. What matters is as you think, you are, you do, you have, you be. You can't add much to that, can you?
You can't. And basically what we've covered, you've given the how of desired change. If people listen to this message repeatedly and no more hearsay, but become doers, first person, active in their own drama man, they're going to imagine a world that today is almost impossible to dream, And so we truly want you to begin experiencing this, not from what somebody else has said, what you've heard, not the next teacher. We won't, you say it all the time, and I love that you said, I'm looking for teachers.
Well,
I'm looking for teachers. But you can't be a teacher if you're doing this thing through hearsay and other people's messages. Eventually, the story has to be your story because it is your story.
That's it. You own the experience. I mean, you were given dominion. Do you know what having dominion means? See, that's the question. Most people don't even know what having dominion means. It means you're in control. You're calling the shots. You're doing exactly whatever you want to do, you're doing it. If you're doing it. Because that's what you're told to do. Do a thing, and you shall have the power. It didn't say try it. It said do it. That's the difference between try it and do it. It's the same as thinking about it and thinking from it. It's really very simple, but like I said, it takes time to change your mindsets. You have to actually entertain them for a time to dislodge them from you. And you can. If it's not serving you, let it go. Only take on what is serving you. And I mean beneficially so, not dementally so. Well, yeah, hearsay is wonderful up to a point, but not what you're looking for. It's first person, present tense experiencing. And you're doing that through your own conversations. So the only thing you have to check up on is your own self-talk. And I know I say that over and over and over, but, it took me years just to get that. And that's why one of the reasons why I'm here. It shouldn't take years. It shouldn't take months, really, if you're focused, if you're paying attention, if you have an idea of what you're looking for, you'll find it. Because what you're looking for is actually looking for you. So be sure you're always looking for what you want more of, because that's what you get. Yeah.
Well, listen, we've covered a little bit more than an hour, so I'm going to be sensitive of your time. We're going to wind it down, and it's been a pleasure, sir.
Oh, yes, it always is. Thank you, sir. Okay, talk to you later.
All right, sir. Bye-bye.